For personalised, private, no waiting, in-home care. rightathome.com.au. This is Without Bias on SEN.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Without Bias right here on 1116 SEN. For Bowls Australia and Right at Home, the Right Care Right at Home, Australia's premier in-home care provider. For personalised, private, no waiting in-home care, visit rightathome.com.au. Val Febbo here with you. Having AO withdrawals, the Australian Open is, or has been, run and won. 15 disciplines decided, 15 titles won, a couple of firsts, a couple of history-making titles, with Aaron Sheriff winning a fourth straight men's singles title. Absolutely incredible. Lynsey Clarke winning her 11th AO title. She's going to join me a little later on. Same with Kelsey Cottrell winning her 11th. But someone that won their maiden singles title, and so well deserved too, I might add, is Dawn Hayman. It was a glorious run to the title that culminated on Thursday afternoon when she defeated Olivia Cartwright 21-11 to take it home. And Dawn joins me on the line now. Dawny, congratulations. How has it sunk in?
Oh, thanks so much, Val. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's really sunk in yet, but it was an epic 2 weeks up on the Gold Coast and I couldn't ask for a better finish.
AO singles champion. How does that sound?
It sounds pretty cool. It's something I've wanted for a very long time, and to finally get my name on that trophy is something really special.
The message to me after the final, when I just sent you a little congratulations message, and I wasn't expecting you to respond so quickly, and you did, and you said, finally got one. How much does it mean to you? Like, you've finally managed to get to the top step of the podium.
Yeah, it means everything, Val. It's one of the events that I've had on my list to try and get the singles win for a very long time now, and I've been close a few times and stumbled at a few little hurdles, but yeah, to finally get my name on that trophy is so, so special. And
we'll get to the tournament in a second, but I want to ask you, because player of the tournament as well, did you expect that based on the results? Like, it was, I think, quarters in the pairs, then semis in the fours, and winning the singles. You obviously would have known that you were thereabouts, but did you expect it?
Yeah, I thought I was thereabouts, but no, I definitely didn't think I was going to get it because a few of the girls had a winner and a runner-up, say. So I thought that would have been ahead of me, but I didn't realise that there was a lot of points for winning the singles. So yeah, no, I'm extremely proud of that.
Yeah, you definitely deserve it. Singles, I think, has the most points, and then I think it's, pairs and fours and other events along the way as well. But the final against Olivia Cartwright, it was the first time you'd gone into an AO final as the experienced player. So what was your mindset going into it, considering, you were the elder statesman this time?
Yeah, look, to be totally honest with you, Val, I was so nervous before the final. I spoke to a few little people on the side, and I said I was driving down and I had butterflies in my tummy, and I was really nervous. But obviously, once I got out there, I calmed down a bit and just was able to get a few bowls out, coming out well. So the confidence started to come back a little bit. Yeah, but I was quite nervous. But yeah, I suppose I dealt with that pretty good.
Well, you definitely did, because you came home with the gold medal. And what did you take from your 2022 final, Dawn? Because you had 3 years in between matches, or 3 years in between finals. So you go in, you play Kelsey in 2022. It's a close final. She's the elder statesman. Now it's you. What did you learn from that day that you took into the final last week?
Yeah, I learned a lot from that final against Kelsey. Obviously, it wasn't the result I wanted that year, but I just knew that I needed to start this game with all the confidence in myself and just try and own the rink, as I've been taught throughout the Jackaroos process. And yeah, just try and dominate from the start, I think, was the key.
And it was a clinical performance. You did do that. Talk us through the final end and the emotions that you were experiencing, because you don't really know it's the final end in singles unless you're at 20 all. But what were the emotions you're experiencing? And then when you realised it was yours, what was the immediate response?
Yeah, I think the second last end I played where I got the 4, that was a really crucial time to get a number there. But yeah, as we know in singles, when you get to 20, the last shot is always the hardest one to get. So I think, just going through my mind, I was thinking you just got to calm down. Like, my heart was racing because, I was so close to getting that trophy in my hand. But just, getting myself to compose myself, just get my heart rate down, take a couple of deep breaths, and just try and focus on the very first bowl at the end. Because we know in singles that if you can get your first bowl there, it's going to be a really hard one to get off. So I think I was just a little bit short with the first one, but then I capitalised with the second one, and then it was just about seeing what shot she was playing to where I needed to cover, and yeah, when I finally finished the end, and unfortunately Olivia missed with her last bowl, I just fist pumped, and the emotions started coming out, and yeah, I had a few tears, and it was just so exciting.
Speaking of emotion, rewind to the quarterfinal where you take on Kelsey Cottrell again, and you finally beat her in an epic, and we saw all the emotion on your face after the win. Talk us through how big that moment was for you.
Oh, that was huge. Yeah, Kelsey's got me the last few times in the singles, one being the final and then the following year being the semi-final, which have all been great battles. We've had quite a few battles over the years and they've all been fantastic. But yeah, I knew that was the one that I had to get over the line if I wanted to win this competition. So yeah, I got off to a really good start and I was quite happy with that, but I always knew she was going to come back at me, which she did. And yeah, I had it in my head before the game. I just had nothing to lose. I know I'd lost to her previously. So yeah, I was out there to win and just stuck to my process and always had in the back of my mind that she was going to come and as she did, but I was able to capitalise on that.
You certainly were, and those final two ends you played were absolutely brilliant. But then you couldn't rest there, because then you've got to regroup and you've got to take on Ziti Zelina Ahmad, a two-time Commonwealth Games singles champion who pushed you to the brink as well. How did you regroup in those tough moments? Because there was a moment where you dropped a 4 and she was coming, but you managed to hold your nerve and get through to the final. So how did you deal with some of the adversities in that match?
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle there in that when I dropped that 4 to go 16-19 behind. Obviously, she was within 2 of winning the game, and I think it's just pretty much what I said before. And I acknowledged that I dropped the 4, and it wasn't my finest moment. I probably rolled the jack in the wrong spot to what I had been previously. So yeah, I just set a little goal just to get my first 2 bowls as close as I could. And it sets me up. I know, I'm quite a confident singles player, and if I can get my first 2 bowls there, I'm really confident that I can win the ends. So yeah, I just stuck to the process and got my first 2 bowls there, and just pretty much forgot about the 4 that I dropped, and just focused on winning the ends. And I was lucky enough to win the last 2 ends to finish up the game.
Yeah, there was no luck involved, Dawn. That was absolute pure skill. And you know, the way that you ran through the tournament was inspiring for so many, I'm sure. And out of all of the matches that you played or that you won, which one was the most special in terms of victories? Was it the Kelsey win? Was it the one where you beat Lena from behind? Or, you know, what was it? Was it the final itself?
Oh, it's hard to say, Val, but, you know, obviously winning the title itself is quite special, but I think my biggest key was to win against Kelsey because she'd got me the last 2 times, so it was just like that extra little step that I had to take to win the title was to beat her. So, yeah, I was really confident after that win that I could get the job done. Amazing.
And have you been back to your club at all, Dawn?
Yeah, I was back there the other day and did a little Q&A with Ben Twist. We've got our, I think, 4 or 5 grades going away for the state pennants in the coming weekend. So I was able to share a little bit of my experience with them. And as we spoke about the adversity of like dropping numbers at crucial times and stuff like that, I was able to share a little bit of my experience with them to hopefully motivate them to get the job done away at the state pennant playoffs.
Well, I'm sure you've motivated them well enough, and we'll put a call out to Anthony Cotty at St. John's Park to get the statue ready for Dawn Hayman. Surely. You're not saying no.
No, I'll leave that up to you, Val.
All right, well, we'll put the call in and we'll make sure that it gets done. But Dawny, thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations on what was an amazing week or fortnight at the Australian Open. It was so well deserved, and we're so happy for you everywhere in the bowling community that you've got your hands on that AO singles title, because it's the one you've wanted and it's the one that you well and truly deserve. So thanks for joining me on Without Bias. Go and enjoy it, and we'll speak soon.
Thanks so much, Val.
Dawn Hayman joining me on Without Bias, the champion of the women's singles at the 2025 Australian Open. Speaking of champions, well, we've got Lynsey Clarke. She's going to join me right after this on Without Bias here on 11:16 SEN for Bowls Australia and Right at Home.
For personalised, private, no waiting, in-home care, rightathome.com.au. This is Without Bias on SEN.
You're listening to Without Bias on 1116 SEN, your home of sport for Bowls Australia and Right at Home, the right care right at home, Australia's premier in-home care provider. Val Febbo here with you. A big thank you to Dawn Hayman for chatting to us in the last segment, the AO Women's Singles Champion and Player of the Tournament. And someone who has no stranger of winning Australian Open titles and winning absolutely everything in life is Lynsey Clarke, because she's a world champion, a Commonwealth Games gold medalist, and she's just won her 11th Australian Open title in the women's fours with Kelsey Cottrell, Rebecca Van Asch and Anne Johns. She joins me on the line now. Lynsey, congratulations on yet another Australian Open title. The trophy cabinet, is it overflowing? Do you need to have an extension on it? What's that look like?
Well, unfortunately, we've got to give the trophies back, Val. So my medal cabinet is getting pretty busy there, but it's a nice problem to have, and pretty cool to be on here following the legend that is Dawn Hayman. She was in some sort of form over those 2 weeks. So, it was a really nice couple of weeks on the Gold Coast, obviously my hometown, and winning another Australian Open title. It never gets old. So it was very nice.
Can you believe it? 11. That's massive.
Not really, I suppose. I mean, it's over quite a lengthy amount of time. So we've had some leaner years in all of that, but to still be performing and winning titles at the highest level over, I think I spoke to Shane Globitz on the coverage on one of the days, and I think it was 20 years ago since the first Australian Open. So, it's been a long process, but very nice, obviously, to have another gold medal and a little cash prize check.
Yeah, well, I know that you keep all those checks in the office behind you when you work. So, have you requested this one yet?
No, well, I've already got 4 of those, so I donated the forwards prize check to my good friend and much deserving skipper Kelsey Cottrell. I think, I don't know, Jimmy and John obviously was maybe going to take it, but a bit tricky to get on the aeroplane. So Kelsey's got this one.
Very nice. Well, that's fair enough. You got to share them around, Lenny. That's
share them around.
Yeah, you're the ultimate team player. But it has been 3 years since your last title. I feel like that's a long time to say that because I'm just so used to watching you win all the time. But how much does it mean to be able to or still perform like this after such a long time at the AO? Of course, you mentioned 20 years. I don't know when the first one you played was, but, to still be performing at such a high level on the biggest stage of all, how much does that mean to you?
Yeah, look, it's really special and pretty unique, I think, for our sport to have such a lengthy career and a successful career at that, I guess, as well. And hopefully many more to come in saying that. It's not over yet. But I think, it kind of renewed. I had a great success at Darebin. It was there for a lot of years. I won a lot of titles down there. But to be playing in my hometown on the Gold Coast on the most beautiful greens, fantastic clubs, just the atmosphere around the place as well is actually really inspiring and exciting, and it makes you want to keep winning and keep getting to the pointy end. And that the semi-finals or quarterfinals at Helensvale on the Wednesday is always a bit of a carrot because there's such a good atmosphere there, and the crowds are great and everyone's around there and lots of action happening. So that's always a bit of a motivation for us. But I mean, I don't probably train as much as I used to or play as much as I used to. So to be able to still perform and I guess delve into 30 years of work I put in is nice, and especially for my teammates as well. I guess that motivates me to try and get them off to a good start and play well. Kelsey Cottrell's still playing for Australia, so I did say to her if she wants to give me the flicker anytime she can, but she's happy to carry me through for a little bit longer, I guess, as long as I'm getting them close for her.
And you were getting them close. The way that you played throughout the tournament was unreal, especially in that final, which we will get to. But I want to ask, this fours title, and I hate to bring up wounds because I know how frustrating it was on the day, but it felt like a just reward for what happened to you and Kelsey in the pairs. It wasn't. It wasn't the easiest way to go out of the tournament. So how did you regroup after what happened? And for those who don't know. And look, no disrespect to Leanne Chinnery and Kelly McCarran, who played a very good match, but the results to win them the game probably weren't what they were going for, and you could see that in their faces on the day. So how did you regroup after what happened?
Thankfully, we had a big 3-hour break in between that match finishing in the way it did and our fours quarter final. But credit to Kelly and Leanne, they were very gracious. And I mean, for those that listening and weren't there or weren't aware, so on the actual last end of the game, Kelsey played a bomb. We were one in front of the scoreboard. She played a bomb to hold the match. Kelly had a drive, missed about a foot or so narrow, pumped something up off the front and ended up with a shot. Copped that on the chin, as you do. That's bowled, a bit of a lucky result. We go to an extra end. We hold game. One bowl to come. Kelly is going to draw the shot. She had maybe, 2 foot or so to draw a shot. And there's this time maybe 3 foot narrow and about 10 metres heavy and rumbled off the front and got another lucky one to sit in. And that's how we lost the game on an extra end. So I think it will take me a little while to forget that. Actually, I don't think I will ever. And I mean, when you lose a match because you're outplayed, you can sort of move on pretty quickly. But when you lose a match because things didn't fall your way so significantly twice, it's pretty funny. But I guess it did, we can see the lighter side now. Obviously winning one gold medal was quite motivating for us. But yeah, we had a nice big break after that. We had to get away from the club and the green just because I think Val had announced that we'd won and we hadn't, so everyone was quite excited for us. But yeah, we had to keep saying that we lost. So yeah, we just got away for a little bit.
I definitely didn't help that situation.
That's okay. Well, I think because, from where you were sitting, Kelsey didn't laugh, but I just had to laugh in the moment because it was so, and I don't know, if I didn't laugh, I think I would have cried because it was just not the best way to lose a match. But anyway,
and I could see a smile on your face from that time, and I was like, oh, well, okay, they must have won because Lynsey's smiling. She wouldn't otherwise. And then it was like, smile, otherwise you'll yeah, pretty much, or light the joint on fire.
Yes, that's how it felt. But anyway, yeah, credit to them. And then, they were really, really gracious. And we've known Kelly and Leanne a long, long time. And the game was it was such a really good game, really competitive all the way through. But yeah, just to end in that fashion was probably a little bit of a bitter taste. But anyway, that's bowls. It happens.
And moving on to the fours final, you seem like you're in control from the outset, and the way that you led was unbelievable. And then you've got Anne and Beck as your second and third, and then Kelsey, I think in the post match interview, said that you guys gave her an armchair ride. Did it feel like that? You three were absolutely on fire, and you had to feel a little bit for Rebecca Lord, Olivia Cartwright, and Lara Butler, because the way that you three led was sensational. And then you've got Kelsey as the skip, who was not missing. Her weighted shots were on point throughout the entire contest. So did it feel like the most complete performance?
Yeah, it really did, Val. And I think, everyone talks a lot about Aaron Sheriff owning that green 4, but we won 4 of our 5 Australian Open fours titles on that TV rink on green 1. So it felt a bit like home, and we got out there and I felt really comfortable. We've always got such a great dynamic with our team, with our 4 girls, and we're really relaxed and just enjoy each other's company. And like I said, I want to get out and get the team off to a really good start, so it makes it easier on everyone else. And we've all kind of got that mentality. So yeah, it did feel like we were pretty consistent and we dominated a fair bit. Credit to Chloe. Every second end, she seemed to play a ball with her last bowl. We had no right of reply. So she was, sort of hitting everything and getting maximum results and, turning a 2 down or 1 down into 3 up. So she did keep them in there for a long time. But we always knew we were playing well in both directions. We were building good heads. We were never really in too much trouble. And Kelsey came up with some absolute clutch bowls when we needed her. But yeah, we just, played really well as a unit, just enjoyed being out there and had a bit of fun.
And the 4 of you won the inaugural fours title back in 2014. You've won 37 between the 4 of you. What do you think of when you hear that number?
I think, Aaron Sheriff, you've got a bit of work to do. But no, I think, it's pretty crazy. I mean, we've obviously won a lot of those titles together and our fours, but also Kelsey and I play a lot of pairs together. We have done since 2012, I think. And Beck and Jimmy have won a pairs in there. We've all won I think we've all won the set singles, pairs, triples and fours, which is also a really nice honour and something to think about is pretty cool. But yeah, it's a ridiculous stat. But it just goes to show we get on so well. We obviously play all right as well, but there's never too much pressure between us all or expectation. It is what it is. I mean, we have experienced losses throughout those last sort of 11 years or so, but yeah, for the most part, it's quite successful as a unit, and we just have a lot of confidence and fun together.
And one final one, Lynsey. 1 singles, 3 pairs, 2 triples, and 5 fours titles. I'm going to put you on the spot. Which one is the most special for you at the AO?
Oh, geez. Wow, that is... Oh, you want me to pick one?
Yeah.
I think... We're going to have to go... I know I'm ultimately the team player, but when I won the singles in 2012... It was significant. It was a kind of like a big moment in my career to prove that I could do it alone, I guess. I remember reading a headline after the fact that said underdog Armitage goes it alone because I'd had so much success in the team events, and I was playing Lisa Phillips in the final, who was going for 3 Australian Open singles titles in a row. So I was an underdog in that final, which was uncommon for me, but I really loved it. Obviously, the prize check back then was, I think, $18,000, so that was helpful. I had my fiance at the time, Brad, in the crowd, and lots of family and friends support, and it was just pretty special. It's good to look back on that. The vision and the footage from 2012, it looks so vintage now, looking at the product and how modern things are. When I was looking at some of the old vision, I'm like, wow, that looks like the olden days, but it was only like, early 2010s or whatever. So, that one's probably up there as the most special, but I probably shouldn't have singled that out, because my teammates, there's nothing more special than winning with other people and then getting to celebrate that. So, lots of good times there.
Well, I think they all know how you feel, Lynsey, and I know how everyone in the bowling fraternity feels seeing you guys win titles. It's awesome to see you guys are still at the very top of your game. So congratulations on yet another Australian Open title. You and Kelsey, the record holders with 11. Oh, it's going to be very, very hard to catch. So congratulations on yet another successful fortnight on the Gold Coast. Well done, and we'll speak to you on Without Bias very soon.
Thanks, Val. Pleasure as always, and look forward to next AO already. 360-something days to go.
Lynsey Clarke joining me on Without Bias. So good to hear from her after 11 Australian Open titles. I think we need to start a trend on social media or something. Hashtag be like Lenny, but I don't know. She's on fire still after a couple of years out of the Jackaroos setup as well. So still firing on all cylinders. That's all we got time for and Without Bias tonight. A big thank you to Lenny and Dawn for chatting to me, and this, of course, for Right at Home, the Right Care. Right at Home, Australia's premier in-home care provider for personalised, private, no waiting in-home care. Visit rightathome.com.au. From me, Val Febbo, it's a good night, and stay in touch with Bowls at bowls.com.au.